Hi everybody, this is Rexanna with Garden of Herbs, and today I just wanted to come on and do a little video because I'm not feeling good today. Basically, I'm like not 100%, and I really kind of thought about like over the weekend I was like okay, but I knew I wasn't feeling 100%, and I shared a little recipe that I had with somebody, and I thought to myself, I don't know why I don't do a video on this, because I've been doing this with my kids. I've been doing it with my grandkids. I really stepped up my game with my grandkids, and since I've been an herbalist, I've added a couple more things. And so I wrote down some things because I thought, I kind of have been adding more and more to my regimen, if you want to call it that. And over the weekend, I'm more into herbs, and I do some essential oils. I'm not an aromatherapist. I have a friend that's an aromatherapist, and she sent me this great book. It's like a little pocket handbook, but I have a big huge book just like this that has more essential oils, and someday I hope to go to school to be a certified aromatherapist, but until then I get a lot of practice out of reading this book. And basically I have just some drainage, and I've been doing a tincture here and there. But when you have kids, you have lots of issues with kids, and even as an adult sometimes you have issues. So I thought I would get on here and just share with you what I've been doing. And it's that time of year where you have all kinds of stuff changing, the seasons change. And some people say, well, springtime is when the allergies come. Well, some people have allergies throughout the whole year. And pretty much my allergies are under control until I start getting out into the garden when the seasons change. Sometimes I have it twice a year. And I have a friend that I think we have about the same type of issues. And so I thought, well, I'm going to just make myself a little concoction. So I'm going to go over my outline, and then when we get to the essential oil that I made for myself, I'm going to share it with you. But I just called this, a way to loosen up things that get clogged up in our body, because we have all areas of our body, starting from the head all the way to the neck, all the way to the chest, and throughout the entire body. Our lymph system, our whole body gets clogged. And if we don't find a way to loosen things, and little children haven't really got a way to express to us, but we can see it when they're having a hard time breathing. So I've got stuff on here for adults, and I've even got stuff on here for children. And it starts with first thing in the morning, and sometimes going throughout the day, and stuff you can do at night to help them sleep before they go to bed. And sometimes I think people forget that children have a hard time resting because they can't sleep, and you can hear them in the middle of the night. They're like that, and that's because they're having a hard time breathing. So number one thing that I've always learned is steam. So when you get a bowl, sometimes you can do this when you have a child at home sick. If you get a heat-resistant bowl, that's something that's not going to crack. And I don't like using plastic or Tupperware, because the Tupperware, I like using something heavy, ceramic, or something that's really nice, heat-resistant, and I don't like using the microwave. Heat your water. If you got a little, something like that, heat your water. And when it's a child, be right there beside them. Get it as hot as you can stand it, but then be right there beside them. And then fill your water up at least halfway filled, and set them in a nice comfortable chair. And if it's 10 and under, you really want to be right there beside them. Between 5 and 10, they need a lot of supervision. 10 and over, you still want to be right there beside them, because teenagers have a tendency to be preoccupied with other things. So you can put chamomile in there, and you can put marshmallow leaves in there, and you can put peppermint in there, or you could put all three in there. If you don't have any dry herbs, you can always use essential oil, peppermint, and you can use sweet orange and peppermint. And when you use that much in a small bowl like this, only use like 2 drops of peppermint, 2 drops of sweet orange. And you want to use for a child Eucalyptus divus. Make sure it says divus because it's a child. And if you use Eucalyptus globulus, it's too strong for a child. If they're around 15 or 16 years old and they're like adult size, you could probably get by with globulus. That's Eucalyptus globulus. And they're healthy, chunky size, about adult size, you could get by with that. But if they're like 13, 14, and they're under and they're smaller size, I would go with the Eucalyptus divus. And that's because children have a smaller lung capacity and they just can't handle that eucalyptus is too strong for them. And it's very good at relaxing and opening up the nasal passages. And you can throw in some pine or some pine scotch. That's very good. And you know, if you're going to put it in a roller bottle so that they can put it around their neck right here, and they can even put it in their hand, you could get a little bottle like this, which is a 1 ounce bottle. I put sinus oil on there. You can add sweet almond oil, and you could put, I use jojoba oil because I like it because it's thicker, or you could put fractionated coconut oil. I like to, they suggest sweet marjoram oil, 1 to 2 drops only of the Eucalyptus divus, pine scotch, cypress, or, and just put like 1 to 2 drops of each one of those, okay? Now the peppermint oil is pretty strong, so you can use that or the cypress. I have used peppermint oil on my kids, but they say that's up to the parent. Now if it's too strong, use the cypress. Now we're going to move on to the adult formula. Now the adults, you can use the Eucalyptus globulus. Okay, Eucalyptus globulus. Now that's the same thing. You can use the bowl and you can use steam to open yourself up. And you want to get the towel and you want to wrap it all the way around your head and put your head over there. You can, for a child, I wouldn't do it more than 5 or 10 minutes. That's plenty enough time. For an adult, you can do it 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, however long you think that you can stand it. And you know, you could do that twice a day for a child. You could do it 3 or 4 times for you. Or you could get in the shower and hold the bowl over your head, or whatever, a rag. You could get a hot rag and do a couple of drops of each on a towel and hold it over your head. You could do the same thing for a child in a shower, because the shower is going to open you up. Or even in the bathtub, you could put it in the bathtub and do those drops in a bathtub. You don't want to do a bunch of drops. Less is always better. And for an adult, let's go back to the drops. I do in a small drop. You put your drops in. You can use a little funnel I have a little funnel here, and I just put my little thing in here. Or if you think you can just use your little bottle and put your little bottle in there, that's fine. I use 5 to 6 drops of peppermint, and I only use 3 drops of eucalyptus, sweet mandarin, or I substituted with sweet orange because I didn't have any of the mandarin. Pine is 2 drops, and I didn't have any. One is pine. I'm sorry, sweet mandarin is 2, pine is 2, and the peppermint is. Let's go over it. Peppermint is 5 to 6. Eucalyptus is 3. That's Eucalyptus Globulus. Pine is 2, and sweet mandarin is 2. But I use the sweet orange is what I have. And then you fill the rest up with your carrier. You use the rest with your carrier. And all you do is you make sure you get it nice and mixed up. I'm almost out because I've used so much. You just put a couple of drops in your palm of your hand, and you go back and forth. Of course, I pray over my oil, and you just continue to rub it back and forth. I had to rub mine up and down on my neck, and I had to clean my nose out, which is my next. And I do this several times a day, and I am getting better. But you can diffuse this in your diffuser, and you can just, do not put it close to your face, but you can, smells awesome. And this is for your sinuses, to keep your sinuses open. Okay, now, be very careful. If you notice that your child's eyes are watering and that you notice it's too strong for your child, don't use it on your child. But if you notice that it's really opening you up and that you're diffusing it for about 20 minutes, if you're just doing it around 10 minutes for your child, yeah, it's opening me up. Then that's good. But, excuse me, you want to get things opened up. You want to get things moving. You don't want things to stay clogged up. You want to get things moving. So that's for the steam, and that's for the drops. Then you want a saline bottle. You can get these at your big box stores, any grocery store. It's just a generic name brand, generic brand. It's nasal saline drops. You just stick it up in your nose and squeeze. Stick it up in your nose, squeeze. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to step out of the camera for just a minute. I have been having troubles with my nose, and my nose is running, and I'm sorry about that. But every morning when you wake up, you don't want your nose to get dry. And if it's a child, you don't want your child's nose to get all stuffed up and have dried mucus. You want that to stay clear. So you spray this every morning. What I do is I use a Nelly med bottle, and I call it just a saline bottle. This is okay to have to clear all the mucus out in a pinch, but I actually bought me one of these. It comes in a bottle, a box, and it has a bunch of, I want to make sure that was clean. This here, you fill it, has a little line here. You fill it with non-chlorine water. You can either put half a teaspoon of baking soda, or you put what's called I put just the pink salt, and you put salt in it. But baking soda is better because it dissolves quicker. And then you squirt it up your nose, and it comes out. You do over the sink. You open your mouth, and it goes up one side and out the other, and you're flushing out your nose. You're flushing it out. You're getting rid of all the mucus. And I know when I first introduced this to my husband, he thought I was crazy. But you squeeze the bottle like that, and you squeeze it and rinse. Squeeze it, and then you do the other side. You do it up one side and out the other. It will go in one side and out the other. And what you're doing is you're cleaning out all the bacteria, and it will go down your throat. You don't swallow it. You actually, it comes down your mouth. That's how your body is designed. And you're cleaning out the bacteria and all the nasty stuff. Because when we breathe at night, what we're doing is we're drying out. And we need to get all that cleaned out, especially when we have drainage in the back of our throat like that, and we're getting dry. The first thing I do when I get up, before I come drink anything or do anything, I go to the bathroom and I wash my face and I wash everything out and I clean everything out. And that's the greatest thing that you can do. And then brush your teeth, you know, wash your face, get everything nice and clean. Then you come in here and then you're like, hey, I'm ready for the day. And the thing that you're doing is you're not putting anything back down in your stomach, and you're not putting anything, you're not introducing any yucky stuff back down into your stomach. So you've gotten this cleaned out, you've gotten this cleaned out, and I'll put a link to the NellieMed.com is what it is, www.NellieMed.com. It's a great invention. It's very simple, it's very basic. They have the instructions on how to hold your head, how to do everything on the box when you buy it. I bought it at a big box store. It was under $10. It's the greatest invention ever. Well, almost the greatest invention ever. But anyway, I bought one for all my kids, all my grandkids, my husband, and I've got one. And they say after a couple of years, you need to buy another one to keep it clean. But it's very easy to keep clean as well. So anyway, that's a great way to keep your sinus cavities clean and clear. Then the next thing that I'm going to introduce is the tea infusions. Don't forget about your nettle tea, your mullein tea, your echinacea tea, your marshmallow tea. This marshmallow tea right here, if you mix marshmallow tea with mullein tea, and if you drink it, you can drink your teas and both. I'm doing a tincture right now. Do your tinctures 4, 5, 6 times a day. It depends on how mild, I don't know, you might just be starting, you might be in the middle, you might be getting kind of really bad. It just depends. I can't tell you because I'm not who you are. For me, it's been coming on, and I thought, well, I'm doing okay. So I've been drinking tea off and on, and then I thought I was doing really good. Well, things kind of kicked up to the point where I had to do a little oil, and then now things are kind of getting to the point where it's getting a little worse. So I'm doing my tinctures, I'm doing my teas, and now I've got some oils. And I'm really getting to the point where in the morning, my throat's I'm coughing, and my throat's trying to close up on me. So I'm kind of in the middle of not really that bad, but it's getting a little worse. So I know where I'm at, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna attack it here, attack it there, and attack it there, and I'm not gonna let it get any worse. So I've got things to do. So I'm taking my tincture 3 times a day, and I'm taking 2 tincture, the tincture capsule things a day, what I call tincture fulls. And so anyway, I think that it's getting a lot better, but my nose is still running. When I got the oil on me, it just kind of opened me up, made me feel a little bit better. So that's the teas. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is when you're getting in the bathtub, I don't want people to forget, you know, we get busy, and you know, you can sit in the bathtub and you can really take an Epsom salt bath. Epsom salt bath, you want to add those minerals. And when you're at the end of the day, this is for your kiddos and this is for your grandkids too. At night is really important to do this before you go to bed. You know, a lavender is a great relaxer for kids. And you can make a little lavender bag. You don't have to have all that lavender in there. A lavender essential oil is great to help them relax. I don't really like all that store-bought lotion that has lavender in it or oil. When you can do the natural stuff, it's a lot better for their skin and their immune system. Lavender essential oil is great. My friend who is at Pure Shem, ReminantReady.com is her website. You go to www.ReminantReady, and I'll put it in the description below. Her oils are very pure, and they're kosher, they're organic, they're all that you're looking for in an essential oil. And I will put that in the description below. They are so good for skin. They are so good for, you can get them neat or you can get them blended. And they are really good for your skin. And I use most of all her oils, and they are just really good. And I really recommend her website to anybody, ReminantReady.com, and you just go under Shem, Pure Shem oils on her website. They are really awesome oils, and I think you get on her point system, and on the point system you get them cheaper that way too. So I highly recommend Nita Moshe on her website, and she's got a lot of education about essential oils as well. They're really good for you. So anyway, I'm just going to wrap this up. I mean, if you have something that's bothering you, I highly recommend this. If you want this sheet here, I'll put all this information in my description of this video. But I highly recommend this for children who are having a hard time sleeping, having a hard time breathing. Sometimes, like I said, it's all up in the head and it moves down to our chest. And this is something that if you don't stay on the lookout for it, it can start very, you know, something that's just, you know, not that big a deal. And then it can develop. So we really want to keep our eye out for this. Because like I said, you know, this wasn't really that big a thing, and now it's kind of moving into something where I'm having a hard time breathing and I'm having a hard time, you know, it starts out as something really mild, and if we don't nip it in the bud, it will turn into something really serious. And this is really, you know, the beginning of the school year. We don't want it to get into something terrible where it's pulling us away from family activities or something at church where we can't be involved with our activities. And we really just don't want to do that. But what I was going to say about taking care of ourselves and our loved ones, it's what we are commanded to do, where it says we love on one another. We are one another. So let's make sure that we really love one another and love ourselves in that equation, because you know, taking a bath is taking time for ourselves. And when we take time to love on ourselves at the end of the day, it makes us so much better the next day. I mean, you know, you wake up refreshed the next day, you wake up feeling really good, and that's really what it's all about, is to love one another and put yourself in that equation as loving yourself as being part of loving one another. And that's what I intend to do tonight, is I'm going to take a bath with Epsom salt and essential oils. Essential oils is such an important part of our day. And so I may not make a lot of videos on essential oils, but let me tell you, I love my essential oils. as much as I love my herbs. And that's going to be, I've got a tincture here, I've got herbs here, and I've got saline solution here. And that's just really all you need. And don't let it go. Do something about it today. And if you need any references or any links to buy any of this stuff, please contact me here at Garden of Herbs. And bye for now. This is Rexanna. God bless. I hope you get to feeling good. I know I'm going to start getting to feel good. Okay. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.